On this Chords and Coffee, I'm going to tell you a little story. My buddy Alec came to me here recently and he said, hey, we've got this event coming up. It's called Cars and Guitars. This is a huge event that we do at our Springfield location. We have a ton of cars parked around the store, exotics like, Ferraris and McLarens and Porsches. And then we have, like racers and like the sleepers that it looks like a station wagon, but it's got this supercharged engine in it, all that kind of stuff. It's all around this whole store. And he said, we did it last year and it was a huge success. And he said, hey, I think you should write a theme song or a jingle for this. Very little time to get it done. This was literally just a couple of days ago. So I thought this would be a cool Chords and Coffee. I want to show you my process for having to be forced through an urgent sieve of creative strainer. Like the creative juice needed to be good and it needed to come quick. So I wanted you to know what my process was like for that. So as we were talking about, I was like, well, what do you want for this jingle? And he said, well, it needs to be happy. It needs to be invoke kind of summertime feeling. It needs to, have something that could potentially be used again. So it can't be, date specific. And so anyway, I was like, okay. And then what kind of style do you want? And he goes, I don't know. I was thinking kind of 80s or, maybe something that's kind of even yacht rocky or something like that. So to that end, what I started doing immediately is just thinking about, okay, cars and guitars. And I was just like, cars and guitars. And just started, singing different melodies in my mind. And then it occurred to me, I don't know if you've seen the We Are the World documentary, but there's a moment in there where Lionel Richie is talking about writing that song with Michael Jackson. If you haven't seen that documentary, you should watch it. It's a great watch. And he decided what the tempo was before they even had lyrics. And I just thought that was really interesting. And so I'd thought, I'll go ahead and do that. So what's a really feel-good song that feels great to me? Well, one of my favorite songs of all time, like at least top 25, Lenny Kravitz, It Ain't Over Till It's Over. I love you, Lenny. I think Lenny Kravitz is a genius songwriter, great musician, singer, all of it. And so that song, It Ain't Over Till It's Over, I challenge you to put that on and not instantly feel better about your life. Like that little snare drum, them dun, right? It just feels absolutely fantastic. So, the tempo of that song was right around 90 BPM by the way I was counting it. And so that is where I started. So I counted that. I was like, okay, so I need to have something right in that kind of easy kind of summer swagger, laid back, lemonade in a hammock kind of, man, life is good. I wanted that kind of tempo. So then I started messing around with just different melodies. And I had this one that was like, okay, what about cars and guitars? And that reminded me too much of a couple other songs, especially if I did that, right? And I was like, that's not it. So then I thought, well, I'm just going to go to the keyboard. I can play enough on the keyboard where I can pound out some simple chords. And Alec wanted it simple. So I literally walked up to the keyboard and played this little lick here that I'm going to show you right now. Let me hold this up. So when I played that lick, and I had a metronome going, and by the way, what you're about to hear is a recording where I recorded me playing the keyboard on my little Yamaha keyboard that I got at home, and I found a good kind of cheesy 80s sound. And then when I played that, I played the whole, I just kept messing with it, and accidentally went to one chord, and I was like, oh, that actually sounds kind of good. And so then I ended up just kind of going with that, right? And I knew I wanted to have the 4 over the 5 kind of chord, because there's a Marvin Gaye kind of feeling that from the What's Going On era of Marvin Gaye that sort of invokes to my ear. And I wanted to have that in there somewhere, because I just, that very lifted and sort of suspended sound, I just thought that's kind of summery to me too. So I'm going to play you a little bit of the first demo I did. Now vocally, I wanted to go for some kind of almost like cameo, word up, kind of thing, right? And so I was trying to do a cartoon version of that vocally. And so here's what I got. 4 wheels
a 6-string,
or 12.
good deals. Well, it must be
Cars and
That's my wife. I love you, Jess.
for you, for me.
Cars and guitars.
Roll up for free.
So that was the tune, and there's more to it, and I sent that to Alec, and Alec didn't hate it, and he laughed. It's supposed to be funny. This is a silly little song that's supposed to get people excited about coming to this event, because they're like, man, if the event is anywhere near as fun as that, this is going to be great, right? So what are the chords to that? I'm going to show you the chords to that, and then I want you to peek behind the veil of us recording that. We recorded this very fast. It was kind of chaotic. It was a lot of fun. My hope is in this episode, when you get done watching this, I want you to, if you have a song idea, you can record it on the voice memo of your phone. And just then to do the recording that I did with my wife and I had my original instrument track on my phone, and then I took her phone, put it on a voice memo, hit play on mine, and then we just kind of sang it into our phones, literally like this, right? And so then that was the first demo. Well, after that, there's like a whole slew. If you're a Mac user, you've got GarageBand already on your Mac. You should anyway, and if you don't, it's easy to get. And then, of course, there's tons of different software, Logic and Pro Tools and all different kinds, Studio One, all different kinds of stuff, right? And so I'm hoping to encourage you to write your own music, because there's a whole other level of enjoyment of music that exists when you actually get to create. And I believe we're created to be creative. So hopefully this has encouraged you to do that. So here's the chords to this. I ended up writing a simple little chart. This is what I gave to the guys. I love the sound of a 12-string, and especially when you double track them and you pan them, it just creates this huge, and I wanted, again, to sound like summer 70s yacht rock, kind of 80s R&B kind of thing. And so the chords are E minor, D over F sharp to G. Hey friends, I wanted to tell you first, I have limited availability for private lessons, either here in the store at Palen Music in Springfield, Missouri, or via Zoom online. If you're interested in that, give us a call at 417-882-7000. That's 417-882-7000. Or just shoot me an email at natewhite, NATEWHITE at palenmusic.com. I would love to help everybody I can, but the truth is I have limited availability. So get a hold of me as soon as you can. First come, first serve. Look forward to hearing from you soon. Right, so just 2 fingers on the 2nd fret, your middle finger's on the 2nd fret of the A, ring finger's on the 2nd fret of the D, everything open. And then this D over F sharp, I've got my index finger on the 2nd fret of the low E, skipping the A and the D, those are ringing. Then my middle finger's on the 2nd fret of the G, pinky is on the 3rd fret of the B. And then, and then for this G, a lot of times, I'm just got my ring finger on the 3rd fret of the low E, and then pinky on the 3rd fret of the B, because it's already there. Do that 4 times, because I know you want to play this jingle. And then when it goes to the Cars and Guitars part, this little thing. And so all that's happening here is I'm playing a D chord way up here. So I've got, in order to facilitate this melody, I've got my middle finger on the B string of the 10th fret, ring finger is on the 11th fret of the G, and then pinky is on the 12th fret of the high E, and then 9th fret of the high E, and then 12th fret of the B, and then off. And then this chord, it's like a C major 7, really what I'm thinking of. I wrote G over C over there because on the keyboard I was actually playing a C in the bass with just a G triad. So that would be G, B, D. So that would really be C major 9, but it's the same kind of general idea. Index finger on the 8th fret of the low E, ring finger on the 10th fret of the A, and then middle finger is on the 9th fret of the D. Everything else is open. And do that again. And then here comes this A over B. my favorite part of this whole little thing. And this is going to be, I did it this way to get maximum open string ringage. Middle finger on the 7th fret of the low E, skipping the A, ring finger is going to be on the 7th fret of the D, and then index finger is going to be on the 6th fret of the G. And then you shift up here to index finger on the 7th fret of the low E, skipping the A, ring finger is going to be on the 9th fret of the D, and then middle finger is going to be on the 8th fret of the G. And then right back to it. That's the whole tune. So I presented that to Alec. He was like, yep, let's do it. I presented that to Emmett, and he was like, yep. And then Elijah. And then literally the day of, no practice, no rehearsal, this piece of paper, and I wrote down some thoughts for Emmett as far as what kind of sounds, threw them into the crucible that was the Cars and Guitars Jingle, and this is what we came up with. All right, so I got this Taylor 12 string. What's really cool about this series, this is what, a 652, is that what it is? Yeah, 652 CE. The bass string is on the bottom.
Yes.
As opposed to the octave string.
Which makes perfect sense to me.
It does, but that's not how a normal 12 string is strung. So it feels a little easier, and to me, what sounds like a 70s summer, a yacht rock classic, Katarina wine mixer, whatever it is. What is Catalina? Yeah. Anyway, what sounds like that is when you take a 12 string and you record it, and then you track it again, and then you pan them.
Want the best analog chorus you've ever heard? Get something in the physical realm.
Absolutely. That is auditory charcuterie. Then this part.
Then it is the okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's go for it.
Okay. Let's do it. Take one.
Sweet. I like it.
Nice.
I like it a lot.
All right. Let's grab Elijah.
Cool.
So what I'm adding here is I'm adding just a very warm orchestral string section just on that A over B to that B7 turnaround, just as it'll be like a lift moment. And then when it only happens in that part of the song. Hopefully I don't screw this up.
Do it.
No, it's actually, I'm thinking of it as A over B.
Oh yes.
It's actually B.
Yeah, it's A. It's supposed to be
B both times.
and then you can.
Cool. Let's do it one more time.
Yeah, that'd be a great place for you to have a little moment.
And also, I left a moment in the second verse for you to like on that second. Just do it.
Also, that end, I'm going to extend that so that phrase finishes, because it's a little short. So if you want to play through, you can there. At the
Okay,
end.
cool. Could I get a touch more bass?
Four wheels.
6 strings
Good deals.
Well, it must be
Cars and guitars.
for you, for me.
Cars and guitars.
Roll up for free.
Nice.
I think that was it. Double the cars and guitars.
Cars and guitars.
Do that.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't know about my dance moves downstairs. I got a few lined up.
So obviously we had a good time doing this. We had a ton of fun making it. Was rushed. It was slapped together, held together by popsicle sticks, dreams, and a little bit of Elmer's glue. But at the end of the day, I think we found what we were looking for, which was we wanted to have a fun tune that was just indicative of the kind of wonderful experience you're going to have at this event. And so all that being said, what is this Chords and Coffee all about? Why have you sat here and watched all this? Well, I want to encourage you. You can do this. You can write songs. Just make every time you have a little idea that comes across your subconscious radio, just record that in your phone. I guarantee you've got a smartphone in your pocket, and if you don't, well then just go get you a little tape recorder if they even still make such a thing. But find some way to record these ideas and then come back and figure them out on your guitar. Well, Nate, what if I don't like it? Well, you probably won't. Keep going anyway, right? Just get in the habit of capturing your creativity when it arrives. Because what ends up happening is if you don't, you end up putting it off and then it just sort of disappears. It kind of slips away right back into the ether from whence it came. All right, so without further ado, here is the video that accompanies this Cars and Guitars jingle. Hey, if this was a fun episode for you, if you enjoyed this sort of thing, please comment below. I sure do appreciate y'all. We're living life the best we can with a guitar in our hand. We will see you next Saturday morning at 9 a.m. here on YouTube for Chords and Coffee.
Four wheels.
6 strings, good deals. Well, it must be
Cars and guitars.
for you, for me.
Cars and guitars.
Roll up for free.
Exotic.